we are going to see how to implement a RAG chat. So for this, the main requirement which we are going to need is the Gradio app for running the app. Then we need PyTorch. Then we need Autogen, and then we need either transformer library or any other open source library that we are going to use to bring in the open source model. Also in this app we have an option to switch to the GPT-3 or 4 model in case if you want to do a comparison also. Now in order to bring in the open source model, so we have multiple options. So one of the options which I'm going to show in this video is using LM Studio. So in LM Studio you can easily download multiple models and set up a server similar to OpenAI's API, and you can interchangeably use the models by easily switching between the GPT and the open source model without changing much of the code. And you do this by using the local server option, which I will go through in detail when we build the app. Now so this is the basic interface which we have set up using the Gradio. So here we upload the document. So once we upload, the document gets uploaded. Then what we do is that we convert it into a vector form. Once we convert it into a vector form, whatever is the user input we are having, the related lines and documents will be selected from with the help of this user input, and then the answer will be displayed over here. So the report which I have chosen is an interim budget report which was released by one of the banks on Indian economy. So this was the report from which I am going to ask this particular question. So this is a 2024 report. So there is no way the LLM will have any information about what has happened. Now the first thing I am going to check is for a very specific questions. Say what the capital expenditure outlay for the next year is. So let us say I ask this particular question, then I switch to the Llama 3 model, then click submit. Yeah, so the capital expenditure outlay for next year is 11.11 trillion. Now let's check if that's correct. Yes, so the capital expenditure for the next year has been increased by 11.1% to 11.11 trillion. So it actually found the right answer. Now let us also check one more thing. Let us see if it can find what this percentage is. So we are going to ask gross tax revenue is revised up to grow by, and see how the LLM responds. Yeah, so it correctly identifies that it grows by 12.5% in FY24, so which is true. So this is how the entire RAG chat interface works. Now let us go into details on how to set up. So once you install Gradio, what we do is that we create a function where we are going to have accept certain key parameters such as API key, model name, what is the user input, custom prompt which we can provide to the model, then the uploaded file. Then what we do is that we create the config list according to the Autogen requirements, the library which we are using to do this particular RAG chat implementation. So in Autogen we have two agents which are called as user proxy agent. The other is called as the assistant agent. So the user proxy agent will be given the file path of that particular file. Then it will set up the Chroma database and we retrieve the contents from that particular database. The assistant database is connected to the LLM and it will answer based on the given context. So that's how the entire RAG chat has been designed. Now how to download and set up those particular open source models. So once you go to LM Studio, so you can see that you can easily download for whatever operating system you are having. So once you download and set up, you will be taken to this particular interface. So here you can search for different models. Yeah, so you will be given the models which you can easily select for, and here also they have given different architectures of model that are most popular. So Llama, Mistral, Phi, Falcon, Starcoder, Stable LM and GPT Neo. Now you can search different models. So the one model which I am using is this particular one, which was released by the LM Studio community itself, of the Llama 3 8 billion instructor tuned model. So this GGUF is a particular format in which the model is saved so that it can be downsized and easily loaded into smaller systems. So in my system currently I am having a VRAM capacity of 4, so I can easily load models which are having less than 4 GB of requirement. Now you can also chat with this particular model in a chat interface. Then we have playground where you can compare two models. Then we have the option to set up the local interface. So once we come to the local server, what we can do is that we can select whatever model we want from this. So we have to first download that. So I have already downloaded this, so just clicking the download you will download those particular models. So once you download, it will show up over here. So now once you select any particular model, so automatically the preset will be determined. So they are having preset for all the major models. So after that you have another option such as what is the system prompt, then what should be the context length, then what is the temperature and tokens to generate. So we keep it -1 to allow the model to decide when to end. Then we have the option to offload certain number of layers onto the GPU so that our text generation speed increases. So again it automatically detects the GPU type, then it gives us the format in which the prompt has to be there. So it takes care of a lot of things by itself. And once after you configure all the settings, you can just click on start server to start those particular server. So make sure your CORS is off, because we don't want to restrict any API request from any one particular domain. Then make sure the port is 1234, or if you change this particular port, also make sure to change it in the code. Then so once you start the server, this will be the particular screen you will end up with. So here you will be able to see the logs. Now so that's how you set up those particular open source model and how to use it with them. So the one advantage of using this is that while testing purposes this is good. So on a production scale we generally go for other libraries which does a similar thing, but we don't need to install this particular software. So we can do it with the help of libraries such as Llama plus Light LLM or VLLM. So these are specific libraries which perform similar to the LM Studio, but we don't have to install this particular UI and run it on a server. So that particular library takes care of that itself. Now let us check how this particular answer again is generated by the GPT-3 model. So let's click submit. Yeah, so again the GPT model generates, so the answer is quite similar. So the 12.5% in FY24, and it adds an extra information. Now once you notice that the answer we get in the case of the GPT model is much quicker than what we get from the open source model. So this is one of the things which we have to optimize, because in the current setup the model is not ideally running completely on a GPU, it is partially running on a CPU plus GPU. So the speed at which the tokens or the output is generated is severely affected. So once you have a model that can fit entirely into a GPU, the results will be much quicker than this.